If you're living in Algeria and Morocco and Bangladesh and Pakistan and Indonesia, where there's miserable poverty, the misery of Tunisia, if you're living in these countries where there's miserable poverty, listen carefully, listen carefully. If they're living in these countries where there's oppression, so much oppression that a man will pass by a grave and roll on the grave and say, I wish I were the dead man, not for religious reasons, but because of biting oppression. So listen to me. When they got on board the boat, Musa alayhi salam saw Khidr doing something strange. And it was very disagreeable to him. He had strong objections. Because Khidr alayhi salam went to the bottom of the boat and took an axe, something like an axe, an agricultural instrument, and he burst a hole at the bottom of the boat, damaging the boat. It's called scuttling the boat. And now the water will seep in. You have to repair this boat. It's not seaworthy. And Musa then asked, why have you done this? What a wrong thing you've done. And so Khidr reminded him that you're not supposed to ask any questions. It was only afterwards, when he had violated the conditions of staying with Khidr, and Khidr alayhi salam had sent him packing. You can now go, this is the time for us to part. Only then did Khidr alayhi salam deliver listen carefully to the world, he delivered the ta'wil, or the interpretation of the event. Traditional scholarship, Darul Uloom scholarship, said this was wrong. You should not have scuttled the boat. These are poor people. That's Darul Uloom scholarship. Because they look at the event externally, and they judge the event based on externally acquired knowledge. But Khidr alayhi salam receives knowledge internally. He has insight. He can see in which direction, for example, history is moving. He can look at the movement of money, for example, while the others are eating their biryani and going home and sleep. And I like biryani. Don't make a mistake with that. I like biryani. While they eat their biryani and go home and sleep, he's able to see, look, this is not by accident. A new actor on the stage of the world. We never saw him before. Who is he? Modern Western civilization. And this immensely strange and mysterious scientific and technological revolution. We never saw it before. And then when applied to military technology, they get a power which is irresistible. And then after that, min kulli hadabin yansilun, says the Quran. And of course, traditional scholarship can't understand what I'm talking about. Traditional scholarship, they have excellence in the Arabic language. They read this kitab and that kitab and that kitab, but they can't understand what I'm talking about. No, they cannot. And I said, they are given this extraordinary military power through the scientific and technological revolution. And then after that, min kulli hadabin yansilun. And Iqbal is the one who had the insight, the deed hour. He is the one who picked it up. And you know what he said? He said, Khul gaye Ya'juj aur Ma'juj ke lashkar tamam. Chashme Muslim, dekh le tafsir, harfi yansirun, harfi yansirun, harfi yansirun. And I have just used the term. I said they got this power, the modern West. And then what happened? وَمِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. But the schoolboy still cannot understand. So leave the schoolboy and let's move on. Those of us who want to step with history, and we don't want to be left behind by history. And when they took control of the world with that irresistible power, strange things began to happen in the world of money. This fella eating his biryani and going home and sleep couldn't understand. And he even wrote a book to declare that the paper money is halal. Yeah. And then they moved from real money to bogus money step by step. And now they're about to move away from paper money to electronic money, to cryptocurrencies, and China is teaching them. And tomorrow is one currency for all of mankind, but he's still eating his biryani and going to sleep and would not learn from me. His only response to me is to close the doors of the masjid on Imran, who said, shame on you. Shame on you, I have to say. Shame on you. This is Khidr alayhi salam. He has insight. So it is with ta'weel that he responds to Musa alayhi salam. And he said, the reason why I scuttled the boat is because there is a king, meaning a government, coming to seize the boats, deprive you of your means of livelihood. Are you listening to me? They are coming, those who are ruling the world, and every government has to submit to them. They say stand up, every government has to stand. They say sit down, every government has to sit down. They say lock down, and every government has to lock down. Even Salatul Jummah has to be stopped. Will you open your eyes? Yes. And these people who are ruling the world, they want to come and seize your boat in order to deprive you of your means of livelihood, in order to enslave you. They want to come and seize your boat in order to deprive you of your means of livelihood, so that they can more easily enslave you. Are you listening? And I scuttled the boat so that they would leave the boat and go search for the boats which are seaworthy. And after that wicked government leaves, these boatmen could repair the boat. And so there's a profound lesson for Akhiruz Zaman. You must scuttle your boat. Don't go about driving a Mercedes-Benz motor car when you could buy a used car. Huh? Don't buy a special car like a luxury yacht when you could buy a simple boat. It's working fine. Because they're going to come to seize your means of livelihood. And when they find that your means of livelihood is not of that nature, does not have that profile, and it's a waste of time and effort to come after you, they leave you alone. And this is why we say, in Akhiruz Zaman, leave the cities. The best place to live in Akhiruz Zaman is where you don't find people wearing face masks. Yes, where nobody wears a face mask and nobody puts on gloves. Yes, and they don't even know what is social distancing. That's the place to live. And the place for you to flee from that area is where everybody have on a face mask, everybody have on gloves, and when you go to the post office, they have to stand 3 feet apart from each other. You go to the bank, they have to stand 3 feet. It's so funny. Yes, look at what the Dajjal has done. This is the message. If you go to the remote countryside then the mastermind wants to rule the world is not so much concerned with you. You have a break. But if you're in the city, he's going to come after you. And you won't be able to move, to go anywhere. You can't travel without that vaccination. You can't get away from it. They'll vaccinate you. They'll put the chip inside of you. You can't stop it. No, once you're in the city. But if you're in the remote countryside where there are no face masks, no hand gloves, and no social distancing, you won't be vaccinated.